Hello, world. Guess who's back? Hi, Lena.
Howdy. Howdy.
Hopefully,
And I'm going to
everybody's
be in the US in a month's time.
Yeah, all right. The Globetrotter.
Oh, yeah.
So she's going to come see us, y'all. Be on your best behaviors.
Yeah.
We're entertaining foreigners. Don't make us look bad out here.
Mind you, you should see Australians when they go overseas. That's ugly. I just tell people I'm a New Zealander. It's easier.
Why is it ugly when Australians come over here? What do they do?
And not so much to America, but when they go to Asia, because that's cheap for us.
Mm-hmm.
So stag parties and everyone who leaves school and everything, they all go to Asia and just get ugly drunk. You know?
It's what we do here when we go out of town and think that we're in a different country all of a sudden, and you can just act however you want to. And it's like, I see way too much of that in Florida. We get people from Alabama come down who's never seen a beach before, and then they go nuts and they want to do all the stupid things. And I think to myself, you're still in America, right? Mm-hmm. And even if you weren't, it'd be even worse because then you'd be in a foreign jail. But it's like
I would always tell American men when I would travel to Europe because they'd wear shorts in the wintertime. It's like, oh, there's an American.
and they're so damn loud. Americans are famous for that, for sure. But
very
no, Australians, it's out and out drunkenness, I'm so sorry. I'm a New Zealander.
So is there any announcements? Jen, we'll start with you. Anything coming
up? Next Sunday, we're on my channel, and it is someone's first birthday, April 2nd. So join us for the kitten birthday party next Sunday.
Which one, Chaos Mayhem or Pandemonium?
This is Mayhem and Pandemonium. Chaos is on the floor.
So whose birthday is it going to be next week?
All three of them. They're all born
three
April
of them
2nd.
together. Oh, they're the same litter. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. April 2nd. They're all Aries. And then the following Monday, the first Monday, April 3rd, I'll be on my channel doing Sacred Sounds of Coffee with Jody Roberts. And soon coming, somebody else's 62nd birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
You wear mail, man.
We're all Aries in this house.
House of fire for sure.
Except Lucy. Lucy's an Aquarian, so she does her own thing. She doesn't care what anyone else wants.
Good old air sign, rolling the eyes. Lena, you got anything?
Not really.
No. It's nice, but not. It's nice to be clear sometimes.
Yeah.
Becca, anything?
No, I might go live later this week. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Like I always do.
Laid by ear. For those interested, the tarot class will take place June 2nd, I believe is the date I gave you. It'll be Friday, so if it's not 2nd, it's 3rd. One of those. Look it up then, shall I?
Yeah.
It should be June 2nd, though, but quit guessing and just look. Yes, June 2nd. For those interested, again, just email me, TarotsApprentice@gmail.com. Don't pay for anything yet. We're just taking reservations. And that's all you got to tell me is just save me a spot, and I got it. And outside of that, we'll see you June 2nd. Okay.
Thanks so much, girl. She just put up my email address for those who want readings.
You want a reading, and if you want a past life reading, and if you need a tarot deck, there was one made. By her at Anna Rose. And so you go for the One World Tarot. It's pretty much anywhere and everywhere. Barnes and Noble, Target even has it. So anywhere
and
you can find it.
It's designed for new readers. Oh, yes. Thank you. Well done.
It is beginner friendly. It's Rider-Waite friendly as well. So go and get it. Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna start. There's spin the wheel, throw the dart type thing. I'll start with the lawyer. How about that? We'll start with the lawyer. Tacopino he was on TV looking as bad as a person could possibly look. He's not defending Trump very well. He seems to also be digging the hole right beside him. I want to know what that relationship is going to be like going forward. We'll start there for.
Okay, this isn't Corcoran, is it? It's the other guy that's really manic.
This is Tacopino. He was doing the rounds. He did Ari Melbourne, then the other guy, the Face the Nation guy,
and was just a maniac.
Because what he's saying right now is Trump did not give Stormy Daniels campaign money. He gave her personal money. Possibly. Now, he's still admitting that there was money paid. He wasn't supposed to say that part out loud.
No.
He said it's not campaign money. It's personal money, even though it came from Trump org. And so the guy, I forget the guy's name. I actually don't know his name. He said, so you're saying that the company money is Trump's personal money? He's saying, no, I'm saying it didn't come from the campaign. No, he ruined himself on TV. So
yeah, absolutely. And I don't think the money came from anywhere, really. Didn't Michael Cohen have to take out an extra mortgage on his house?
He paid it, and then he paid Michael Cohen.
You don't want to know the fine print with these people.
Uh-huh.
Trump's a lawyer. Well, you know. What's happening? Oh.
Becca, what you get?
I get there might be some sort of a written statement or something that is reported that will become public criticism of this man leaving or moving forward. Now, I asked about Joe Tacopina and Trump's relationship. So this could be Tacopina or Trump. I'm not quite certain because it's like criticism that are public that's reported or results. And then this man moving forward or running away.
I wonder if he makes a post about him.
Is there some sort of a critical public message and then a man running away or the feedback on this man? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's going to end up like all of Trump's relationships.
The rest of them. Get going. Lena, what you get?
Well, I'm using the circus cards for this for obvious reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it starts off with the dancing girls on the galloping horse, you know, like the show. Always with Trump, it's the show that he wants from his people, not their expertise, which is just as well because they don't have any. Then he's tied himself in knots, literally, this guy. He gets the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Wands. So, you know, this is him trying to get himself out of the forest of the trees that he's made. And he comes at everything with a sledgehammer, you know, just that's how he is. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. He won't last because they can't keep quiet long enough. I think they share recreational drugs or something. They just cannot keep quiet.
Jen, you're muted.
Jen?
Well, I start out with the Queen of Swords on the bottom, which is my card for a judge. And there got all these indictments coming and investigations and everything. And I've got every king in the deck coming out and most of the queens, like all these lawyers lawyering up. There's going to be an action taken against Tacopina. You know, there's the devil, which whether that's Trump or his corruption, all these indictments coming out and victory on that. And then all these people, they're gonna have to wrap it up. They're all gonna get burdened and put out in the cold. There's hidden money payments that are gonna come out, and somebody's gonna talk. Somebody's gonna flip. they're all going to lose these court cases I'm getting. They're going to lose every single one of them's what I'm getting. So how is his relationship? Out in the cold and burdened, and good luck finding a job later.
I did a reading, mind you, just now.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll show you what it is anyway. So, defending the thief here is not going to go very well. Person center of attention. The relationship is pretty much almost done as it is, but I have some advice more so than a reading. And thank you to Becca Lenormand for this, and Blanche Devereaux. This is for both of you. It's like Donald Trump and Taco Pina. Both of you just need to quit talking. Both of you. Quiet, you trash. Because Donald Trump has made a post on his Truth Social that has landed him in some hot water.
Truth.
He did the death and destruction post, as we all seen, which I think might still be there. But he had a post of Alvin, what's his name? Alvin Bragg here. I just call him Bragg. Bragg here, and him here with a baseball bat. And so he has now since deleted that message or post. What I want to know is, will that post land him in any hot water? Because there's also, if you are going to charge him with maybe intimidation or obstruction of justice, which is what I think Midas Touch was saying, it needs to be a superseding indictment, which means it needs to come fast. And so will he land in any hot water for that? Or will it just be something they add to the pile?
In addition to the pictures, his words in the
post itself.
Attacking. So for entertainment purposes, only YouTube. What Trump said, not what we said.
Yeah. It was Trump's words and the other guy's image thing. Yeah, of the baseball bat. Yeah.
Like sicking his people on them, and then next thing you know, this letter with white powder, and it shows up at Alvin Bragg's office.
Because I mean, you can delete it, but it's already captured. So
yeah, it's already all over Twitter. Your truth is all over Twitter because people went in and captured it. Ooh, judgment on the bottom.
Lena, what you get?
Well, I've got 2 words. Professional standards. He's having to defend himself, I think, already actually behind the scenes. I don't know if this will go big or much further in the big picture, but already some eyebrows have been raised within the law profession while everyone else has moved on, to the next day. Some sort of compromise or reprimand, I think, might happen. The problem for him is all the other things that are heading his way, which are probably bigger and more dangerous for him. He has to, and Trump's people aren't good at this, actually stop and evaluate what you're doing, where and why and when to not get. They're so used to, being accountable to nobody, just being more outrageous, competitively outrageous. He needs to reflect a bit if he is capable of that.
We shall see on that one. Get what you get.
I got judgment on the bottom, and it's poor judgment on Trump's part, but it's judgment coming down on him too. Something's coming in swift and fast that's going to burden Trump, the celebrity here. He's getting too much attention, riling up his base and everything, and his plans for America, his plans for his base and everything. I think the judge wants to put them out in the cold and temper them. because he's sharing information and he wants to crack down on that. So I think he's going to get a gag order.
Wouldn't that be great?
Becca, what you get?
He pushed his luck. There's the man, there's the luck, there's chaos and uncertainty. This says, yes, he'll get in trouble. I'm going to say we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it, but it's saying him taking risks and pushing it is not going to work out well for him. So,
yeah, there is the Wheel of Fortune, which is also my technology card, and the Hangman. There may need to be some sacrifice when it comes to tweetings and postings and messaging, because it's burdening the people that are supposed to be on his side with the Ten of Wands and the Lover's card. So these are the people who are supposed to help you, aka your lawyers, but they can't do their job effectively if you're off in posting land. Can't call it twittering anymore. In posting land, doing stuff like this. However, he has a precedent. This is not new. So for you to be hired on, you knew this who he was. So,
and can I please a quick reminder? What's his face? Roger Stone had done something similar with the judge. He had that picture of the bullseye on her.
Oh, that's right. And that led to a gag order or contravened a gag order?
I don't remember what happened, Lena. I think they
put a gag order
over him, and then he posted that picture. So, you know, which could be as intimidating a prosecutor or a judge, you know, so.
They tried to fry Sarah Palin for the same thing when she put the crosshairs on Gabby Gifford. So it's
yeah. When are they going to learn? Just throw them in jail during their trial. Just keep them in jail where they have no take their phones away.
Because how do you silence him? He wants to be seen, even though attention is his deficit.
And we read last week because Becca had asked the question: does he want to be handcuffed? And we all got a yes, for notoriety and everything. Narala's base, and it came out this week that he wants to be handcuffed.
He's fixated on being handcuffed and perp walked. It's like, buddy, I don't think that's what you think it is, but okay. I mean, do it so we can all laugh at you.
Please do it. I don't drink it.
Have you seen the AI things of Trump being arrested and Putin being arrested that are doing the rounds?
Please let it happen. And so I can see. Oh, Lord, lucky girl. You in timeout already. So let's ask, will the Republicans be able to successfully stall Alvin Bragg? Because that's their... I don't get it. It's like you want the Trump stain to go away. This is your chance again, like the impeachment and the removal part. But why are you still trying to throw him the lifeline?
They don't want their guy going down.
Good God, I can't.
So sorry, what was the actual question
again? Will they be able to successfully stall Bragg's case?
Bragg said on the letter back, like, you have no jurisdiction here.
Yeah. Basically, they're dog whistling. Hey, Trump, we're still on your side. Why? I don't know. This is your chance to get rid of him. I don't understand. Yeah. Becca, what you get?
The tower, the coffin, the letter.
Oh, wow.
I would say no, because this says that the law or government or bureaucracy ends or closes, and then there's the results. So there might be some sort of a letter written. I think that there was. I think Alvin Bragg just wrote a letter to Jim Jordan and everybody's basically saying piss off.
Mhm.
No, because there's a closure here. So now, does that mean Alvin Bragg is going to bring forward charges? That's a totally different story, you know. But will they be able to stop or delay him? No.
Lena, what you get?
Well, we are here. They're having to make a decision going forward how to handle this ongoing aggression and stuff. There's quite a bit of secrecy here. I've got the high priestess and I've got the hermit. So I think they're doing more to protect judges and prosecutors and stuff than we are seeing. I think they've upped all that behind the scenes. And I don't think they will, because here's the death card. And we forget with the death card too, death in the form of the Grim Reaper is already in motion and trampling the king. It's like you can't stop it now. You know. Yeah.
It's funny. I got the same death card. Yeah, this is a fundraiser opportunity is what I'm hearing. They're trying to appeal to their base. So what was slow moving now is going to change and move faster. So will they slow it down? No, they're going to be stuck. So there'll be a lot of emotions overflowing and everything, but they're stuck and burdened. They don't have a leg to stand on with this. And all the details, of their guy and all the judgment's going to come out on him. So they're out in the cold. I get unfinished business, unfinished work. They can't do the job. It's not their place.
So I get the devil first card because why not? Talk about his kids. He's going to show up. There's the Republican card, my 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords, restriction, limitations. So 5 of Swords, defeat, and 10 of Wands, burden.
That guy's all cut up, isn't he?
It's the Edgar Allan Poe deck, so it's quite special.
Like the
Pretty
pendulum a
image,
few
you have
times.
to think.
There's the back of him.
Yeah, that guy's all hacked up. There's a leg over there, a head way over there.
That's the Republican Party, so this maybe.
It's an accurate representation.
So we have to go here too, unfortunately. Can we look on Bragg's safety? Will he be safe throughout this trial?
Well, I'm remembering, with Italy, after decades of the mafia blowing up judges, shooting judges, kidnapping judges, threatening judges, it wasn't until the country got on top of that they were able to move forward into being a modern state again. It's really important to look after the real judiciary,
Because he was sent a threatening note that had white powder in it, and the powder turns out to be non-hazardous, but still. There's a threatening note.
I think they'd be expecting all this, They must be onto it.
Will we be safe?
Oh, wow.
Okay, Becca, what you get?
I get a yes, and not just him, but other members that perhaps work with the courts. So clerks, judges, also with the garden and the tower here, the grand jury as well. They may have some sort of perhaps independent detail as well, because there's a lot of law here in the middle. So it's almost like here's the law, there's a lot of it, an abundance of it. So not just Alvin Bragg, but perhaps also extending to grand jury or anybody else that works with law that's on with this case.
And even marshals, everybody is vulnerable
Yeah.
to these nutcases.
What you get, Lena?
Well, for some reason, this came back to Trump. So, because he's always the emperor for me. But these are big cards, and I didn't expect it, actually. So, Wheel of Fortune, you know, time's running out for this guy with the tower here. So, in other words, in how I related to this question, because I pulled some clarifiers, the enemy of the court system will themselves come under fire. This is the Knight of Wands, so a more rational approach. But from these cards, if there's a further attempt, like a more serious attempt, this is really going to go against Trump in Middle America as well as New York. I think these are too big to just, you know what I mean? Like, he's pushed the envelope as far as it can go. And if something happens to anyone judicial from here on in, I think it would be a fatal error.
I agree, because he's got his henchmen that work for him and everything. But I get somebody's going to whistleblow on Republicans that do things, so that will bring some change. I also get tempering Trump again, so gag ordering him, especially on social media, the internet. There's an abundance of details of his thievery coming out, and money laundering and shifting money around, shifting votes around, all of that. There's going to be people that are heartbroken when that comes out, because they're going to be victorious in this case. Those that are nutso over it, that aren't accepting it, they better watch out, because there's a lot of people working to put you guys away. So I think there's more of a danger when the verdict comes down than there is right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Will he be fine? So my first card was the Sun, so get a yes. There is someone now maybe trying to plan something or attempt something. Of course, their main Achilles is they put everything on social media, like most people do. And so there is some sort of announcement about it. There's also something written or typed somewhere. So it's already been watched type of thing, or you've been turned in by somebody you know, possibly too, because there is a scheme. There is a scheme to do something harmful, but it's burdened by the evidence. And so they kind of see you coming already, type of thing.
Piggyback off of what you just said on your read, I think last week they had a couple of bomb threats.
Yes.
And those were sent via email. And guess where they came from?
Where?
Russia.
Ah.
Mercy.
I saw
So,
that.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they make or beef up a law that threatening, let alone attacking, a member of the judiciary becomes a bigger deal.
Yeah.
They need to. Especially Trump can set a lot of precedents. Let this be one of them.
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit. So the judicial order, per reports, says this article, paves the way for Jack Smith to compel the testimony from top Trump deputies and loyalists. So I don't know how we want to do this, if you want to pull just a few cards, because it's 5 people. And I want to look and see if each one will still be loyal, or will they save themselves and spill the beans for Jack Smith and his case. Mark Meadows is the first one, Trump's former chief of staff.
I want to deep dive on Mark Meadows. So I'm going to go full pull on him, because he has denied testifying and everything else. He's got right-wing group there right in DC. He's bought a house there, and
Oh, good Lord.
This is so much. Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't think he'll flip. I think he'll end up staying strong and manipulative and everything. You know, he's like a star witness here, and you know, this is his legacy. He'll be very burdened. He knows about the thievery and everything, and trying to shift the votes and all that, the electoral college votes. But I get he'll lay low on the boss, so he'll try to gaslight and confuse everything. He is not going to give up anything. It's a big tower moment for him, and I even get like he's got connections to Russians that may come out somehow. You know, whether it was money that came in from Russia or votes, you know, messing with the votes. There is a whistleblower on him. I think that's Cassidy Hutchinson. So they already know everything on him, but I get he may go away. He may like jail away. I think he's going to stay loyal to Trump.
Okay.
Lena, what you get?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to how much pressure Jack Smith delivers, right? So until now, I've got the Emperor card again, you know, like for Trump. People actually become mentally unstable and deluded in his orbit. You know, it actually is a syndrome.
It's like a contagion. It's almost like a contagion.
Yeah, right? So they can't think outside of the crap that goes down every day. You can imagine the madness. He's been offered a way out of this in a way, and he's thinking about it, but he's really conflicted, which is sort of what Jen's suggesting too. It's not clear cut. He's not actually capable of acting in his own best interests anymore, is my feel. He's so embedded in Trump land and the Trump psyche that they don't see the actual dangers, because no one's gone to jail except the mugs on the ground.
And
So
the
he's
Freedom
not seeing
Caucus,
it.
he's so
not
embedded in the,
seeing the danger he's in.
he's very embedded in the Freedom Caucus, and you know, that's his boss ultimately over Trump.
Yeah.
I get that he's happy to go along until danger strikes and he might get an indictment himself, because it ends here with the scythe. So that's danger, a rupture, something very, this is kind of like your tower card, sort of, you know, so say he's not going to give stuff willingly. He's going to have to be, oh, you want to play that game? Okay, you're looking at 15 years yourself. You know what I mean? Then maybe he'll get a clue, you know?
Can that be referring to January 6th also, Becca?
Because I asked, the way
danger?
I worded it, the way I worded my question was, will Mark Meadows be forthcoming to Jack Smith about January 6th? That says no. So he's not going to dole out information. He's going to have to be like, okay, you've now become a target yourself.
Because here's the thing, he can't admit any of it without putting himself front and center in it.
Exactly.
So he's going to lie to the death.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
What did you
Okay, so I get the first card is a Page of Swords. So this is his strategy is to lie. Lies and gaslights are rumors and gossip type things. So he wants to try to mislead without being completely perjuristic in his nature, if I can make a word up there.
Great
But there's
word,
some
love.
balance. There's some balance issues happening here, to where you're going to have to balance. This is not in the read. This is what I'm saying. You're going to have to balance yourself and the fate of Donald Trump, which is more important. And we've seen the way of like what's that fool's name, Manafort, and these type of people who are willing to put Donald Trump's fate over their own, which is, very nice of you, but very stupid at the same time. And so there's some balance issues coming there, but there's also a lot of defeat. And so this is up to you. You can go forth, because I think they have you in the bag already. There's something from the past, especially when it comes to people or peoples here that was around you in your little orbit, have already given information and evidence, and so that burdens you. And so I think this may be perjury trappish, to where they know the answer to the question that they're asking you and they want to see what you say. And so it ends though in the 8 of Pentacles. So I think he will try to play it by ear, and I clarified and I got the Knight of Swords. I would steer my questioning, even though that's probably not what his case is about. I would steer my questioning more towards January 6th. This is my attack card. And then here with some sort of worldly connections, like, so your Russian influence or your influence from other countries. I'll just say it that way, because it's not just one. And so I would ask him about that too, but I guess the case is not about him right now. But yeah, I don't think that he's going to give it all up unless he's pressed.
But here's the thing, Johnny. Last time when all those people kept their mouths shut, Donald Trump was in a position to pardon all of them, which he did. You don't have that advantage now.
Yeah.
So you go to jail, you stay in jail, you're staying in prison. So
because Biden's not going to help you. Now you
help
you.
They're like the next incarnation on. They are so embedded.
No pardon's going to help him. All those pardons will get wiped out once Trump's convicted.
And if you want to go on the blind hope that he'll win the presidency in 2024, by all means gamble it away, because you're doomed. You're doomed,
But what I want to see now too, particularly with Jack Smith, stop asking them to cooperate. Draw a line, put your case forward. They fail to cooperate, therefore they get charged separately with X, Y, and Z. I'm sick of these little invitations to the party. End of.
I feel like he's lining them all up. Like he already knows, like Johnny would say, he already knows the answers. He already knows. He's trying to see who will flip and cooperate in court and who he's going to be charging separately.
Yeah, and just do it now. Thanks. That'd be awesome.
Go ahead and start indicting them all.
Yeah.
So the next one is Kim Cuccinelli, who is his Homeland Security official.
Wait. Donald Trump's Homeland Security person? Okay.
January 6th.
Yeah, he's been questioned. He's the next one that has been compelled to testify to Jack Smith. So will he stay loyal to, or no?
In the comments, Cynthia says that he could plead the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So Homeland Security guy.
Ooh, Ken Coochie Mom. Mama. No, he will not stay loyal to Trump. No, no, no. Surprise, I'm going to break this all apart. He's fighting with Trump already. He'll go after Trump. He's going to offer up some evidence that's very, very strong in the courts. He's got something else written, or something substantial, some kind of material evidence.
Becca, what you get?
Nope, he wants an offer. There's something here. It could be on a laptop, on a server, in a SCIF, somewhere where there's technology in a black box. So like a laptop, a server, something. I don't know, but it's saying that he's out of guidance. He wants an offer. Give me an offer, and I'll tell you everything. Like,
give me immunity, something.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
What you get, Lena?
Yeah, well, there's 78 cards in a deck, and here's the Emperor again. It's staggering, isn't it? Just ridiculous. But this guy sees himself as the King of Wands. So he sees himself in quite an egotistical way, thinks of himself as important. He's no longer overawed by the Emperor. He knows he has stuff to divulge, which is why I was interested. I didn't think of that, but what you were saying makes total sense. He is going to go for some self-protection and safety and name names and, offer up texts and whatever else, which I'm sure they've already got. And the outcome is the Hierophant. So, he's playing within the rules belatedly, with this Hierophant card.
I get the Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. So offering up some evidence here. This is part of a plan, though. But the Knight of Pentacles doesn't act until his plan is in place. Because I kept hearing under the advice of counsel. And so that's something he's going to repeat, or at least he's going to repeat the advice of his counsel. Because here's his counsel, King of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. So under the advice of counsel, and then there's the Three of Swords and the Hangman. So in order to betray, there needs to be some sacrifice. So I think he wants something in return, and then he can offer up what he has. And so I think this too is an indication of implication. So there's something he has done that he could go down for very easily. And in order for him to help you take down other person, then I need something. I need a safe place to land.
They all committed. They're all just as guilty as he is, because they all knowingly committed crimes.
Yeah.
Okay, the next person is John Ratcliffe, which is the ex-director of National Intelligence. Well, he stayed loyal.
I have a follow-up question after we do all these people.
Okay. Did you write it down just in case?
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
And here's National Intelligence.
National Intelligence. He probably knew about some of those documents disappearing.
Who was he again, Johnny? National Security?
Ex-director of National Intelligence.
Oh.
So that's right.
Which I'm sure he was qualified for.
He's not going to stay loyal either.
No,
I think he's
not.
Yeah, I think he's worried about national security here. He is changing towards the family. And he may talk about trying to shift votes when he lost. But he's turning his back on them, and the big lie here, when they ask him questions, no, he will not stay loyal to the family.
Lena, what you get?
Well, yeah, I think he saw a lot go down and was a bit shocked. I think he started off as a macho man, sort of behind the scenes, but was shocked by the ruthlessness. He has a lot of things that could sink other people, many other people. Again, this evaluation card keeps recurring too. As you can imagine, they're on a knife edge here. Which way are they going to go? And weighing up where they want to spend the next 5 or 10 years. And he gets the victory card. So in that, I've never heard his name, but I think he's the one that's got the dirt. A lot of very damaging dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Becca, what you got?
Is he going to stay loyal? Nope. Nope. He can see how this is going to snowball into worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Because these two right here is like a series of unfortunate events. Well, he sees it coming.
What is it? Lemony Snicket and the series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
That's Trump.
It's like it goes from bad to worse to OMG to OMFG to, so, and, so no, but also read in a different context, this can also say is he knows this could be a person, the 6 of clubs, who's very confused, but this person was a person that was providing guidance and direction on how to move forward. So whether this is Giuliani or Corcoran or whoever one of his lawyers was, he has the dirt on all the stuff and how widespread and vast this whole operation was. But he doesn't stay loyal. He's going to be ass and elbows getting out of there. So
I get he stays loyal to some woman here. And that's what I get. He doesn't, there's no Trump or nothing like that. There is the 10 of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's burdens of information, of some sort of plans for things too. So he's got a lot of info, and this info can sink him too. And then there's some woman here who either she's his counsel or she is giving him advice or whatever the case may be. But with the Knight of Cups and the Lover's card, he's loyal to her, not to Donald Trump. So maybe he's trying to stay out of jail for the sake of this person or what, I don't know. But so we will go to Dan Scavino, who is Trump's social media guy.
For what, 2 weeks?
Will he stay loyal or will he?
Wasn't he the one that he was like really short term?
I don't remember him at all. I just see him on the list, actually. But Jack Smith wants to talk to him, whoever he was.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of that other guy that was his press secretary for.
Oh.
Sorry, have we got a new one?
His name is Dan Scavino. He's Trump's social media.
Oh, yeah, I know about Dan Scavino more than the others. That's interesting. Sorry, I've got to eat. Going on this show, it's like going to the airport. You know how you walk into an airport and you're starving, even though you know you're going to be charged $12 for a sandwich?
Because we're in the middle of the day for you, especially.
Lunchtime.
Scaramucci, thank you. That's the guy I was trying to think of. Dan Scavino.
The Mooch.
He just wanted attention. I'm surprised he didn't get a reality show after
the
that.
Mooch is already turned against Trump.
Dan Scavino. What was his role again? I think
social media.
Oh, social media.
He was Trump's social media guy.
He's in trouble with his mother. That'd be
down
more
on Facebook.
scary.
Becca, what you get?
I get that there was some sort of a invitation or a message that was very fiery and heated. Will he remain loyal? This reads almost like a yes. Because here's the message. Here's a gift. So this here is an invitation, very fiery, hot, successful. So I don't know if he's the one that posted something on social media. I don't know who this guy is. I've lost track of everybody. So,
And if he was head of his social media, he would have like been overseeing Trump texting, January 6th, come to DC. It'll be wild.
yeah. That's reading like a yes, he'll stay loyal, but do so at your own risk, buddy.
Yeah.
Lena, what you get?
I get a couple of queens, which is why I thought his mom's on his ass. She doesn't want her boy to go to jail, even if he doesn't know what's coming down the pipe. Like 2 queens. The Eight of Pentacles just keeps turning up for me. Every question we've had this step by step stuff. But with him, I think he's another one who wants to make a deal with this 3 of Pentacles. He's hoping to get out of it with some sort of deal. So that's what I got.
I get he's set up in a perjury trap, and if he's pressured, he'll flip. But he's got it right now, like he's going to regret a bunch of their postings and things in social media. He's got a strong partnership still, so even though he'll talk, I think he'll change his story about the thievery and the riot and all of that if he's threatened with jail. That's going to be the only thing, but this is going to drag out for a long time before he flips. It's almost like he flips too late. Like,
it's like he's holding out for some protection. Karen in the comments says Scavino was deputy chief of staff as well, so he was under Meadows.
I hit the 10 of Pentacles and the World. There is an eventual completion for whatever it is that they're working on, because he had a lot to do, and that makes sense that you just said. They had a lot to do with Donald Trump and his campaign and his staff and his whole shebang with the 10 of Pentacles, everything that is built for Trump and his empire. The 8 of Wands and the Knight of Cups, he offers crumbs. The false knight here, there may be something deeper to what he says. So if he was dealing with amateur investigators, then I would say he could get away with fluff, but this may not work. Eventually it ends in the 3 of Swords, to where there is some betrayal at some point. And so he may have a epiphany, or maybe someone stands behind him with handcuffs and goes ching-a-ling-a-ling in his ear or something. So it's like it's up to you. This isn't foreplay either, so it's up to you. Just so you know. What was your fault? Oh, we have one last one. Stephen Miller.
Oh.
Will he stay loyal?
And he's been clever enough to fly under the radar,
I can't. Let's see. Stay loyal, Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller's a lot like Trump. If he can get somebody else to do his dirty work, he's actually a coward himself. He's another bone spurs kind of person. You are a confused SOB.
He's nasty.
ultimately, I think he'll turn his back on Trump. It's like the party's over. Right now, he's still supporting him, but I think there will be a shift. There'll be a change, and when they start coming after him with an indictment or pressure or something, and he's going to offer up something about January 6th, and that's when he flips on him.
Well, I hope so.
Becca, what you get?
Will he stay loyal? Nope. That's too much hard work, and he's going to have to sacrifice way too much. So he's going to try to weasel out of it. So leave it to the Nazis to be the biggest cowards in the room when you cojones, you know.
Yeah, baby.
I get no.
Lena, what you get?
Well, you know, he's always been the loyal foot soldier here, sprouting his words of poison. You know, that was his gift, you know, to write those hideous speeches.
That and his spray hair.
Yeah. You know, this verbiage that came out of him that gave actual voice to the Yeti's lowest sort of ideas and ideology. He was smart enough to craft it in a way that took hold. So he's hugely responsible. Still chained to the devil. However, as we all know with this card, if there's enough pressure, he will take the chains off. At this point, he's loosened the chains just in case he needs to duck and weave. You know, I don't know how he lives with himself, that guy, really. Yeah.
I get yes and no. It starts with defeat with the 5 of Swords. So he gives up something, but I end with loyalist with the Queen of Cups. So he stands beside, and then I clarified, I got the 8 of Swords and the Magician. So he's still protecting something when it comes to Donald Trump. But he is also, maybe his mania gives way to the answers that they want, because he will go in, because the 9 of Swords is here too with the Ace of Wands. So maybe his fear, his anxiety, because he has a motor mouth too, to where it just goes and he spouts out gibberish. But I think in the midst of that, it answers a question. So he maybe inadvertently, I don't know. But I get yes and no. He gives up some, but not everything.
I'm betting you. I would love to be a fly on the wall when he goes into interview, because you know how he's always doing his interviews on TV. He's always loud mouthing and motor mouthing and being very confrontational. Guaranteed that's going to be a totally different tune he's playing when he's sitting in front of prosecutors, knowing what the stakes are. Like he'll be.
He's a lot like Steve Bannon in that aspect. Like he likes to run his mouth.
Yeah.
What was your follow-up question, Jim?
Okay, with Trump threatening anybody that goes against him, with Jack Smith drilling down, and he's got, God knows what witnesses that have already testified, will anyone go into the witness protection system over Donald Trump and Jack Smith cases? Will anyone go into witness protection? I mean, Mike Pence couldn't get away with it because, follow the fly on the white hair. But will anybody else try to go into witness protection to avoid Trump's crazies?
If anybody's going into witness protection, it's going to be Trumpy himself when he goes to prison. Because I get suffering and pain and punishment to a man's reputation or how he's been viewed. So, no, it's whoever this man is, which I'm just going to say Trump because I want to be petty. is the one whose reputation and recognition and his honor and everything is burdened and punished. So
I'm getting a yes.
Yeah.
Somebody going in, because of Trump sneaking around and getting people to do his dirty work for him. I'm getting it's a woman for security reasons that may have already been threatened by his supporters, the celebrity supporters, and probably received death threats already.
So like a Cassidy Hutchinson or someone like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that someone's waiting for the opportunity to do that before they give their testimony. They are already speaking to authorities here about it, and they're going to do it. I drew one from the other deck, the Bambino card, because they've got young children.
Yes, it's not like traditional witness protection, as in changing the names and all that stuff, but they are protected witness. It is a woman here, and they are protected from the emotions in the fool here, and the attack, especially around a person's residence where they are. So yes, and knowing him, he's going to cause this to be for somebody else too, and then somebody else too. And
someone in the comments, that's an interesting point, Jamie. What about the lady lawyer for the E.J. Carroll rape case? Should she be a target?
Yeah, I don't get it. I was asking around Jack Smith in particular.
Yeah, I was too, but when I saw that, I thought,
Hey, E.J. Carroll is a target of Trump's idiots.
So we will shift gears again, and there is a story out of Uganda to where it is now a criminal act to declare yourself as homosexual. So they could be imprisoned for life or executed as well in Uganda for being LGBT. The UN and the US, of course, have condemned, and so forth and so forth. So what I want to know, though, is what impact will that have on the citizens? And I looked up to how easy is it to move from one African country to another. And a minority of them, I think about 25%, you can move without a visa. The rest, you just have to do your proper immigration papers and stuff. So, but that is now a criminal act to declare yourself part of the LGBT community. So what impact will it have on the citizens?
Uganda.
They're going to have all kinds of false witnesses and stuff trying to put away people that aren't.
Yeah, rivals and stuff.
Way to go, Uganda.
I think it'll be significant numbers. This is not new, by the way. This has been informally the case for decades. It's just a big deal now internationally because it's been made a law, right? So we've got to remember that too.
Wait till the GOP
change your risk level enormously.
Wait till the GOP catches wind of it, and they'll be like, "Great idea! Let's do that."
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get people are confused. Not so much confused that it's happened, but confused where to go, what to do, how to react. What about this? Those who can are holding money close so they have an opportunity to go to somewhere where they can speak. And here's the Temperance and the Star. And I think this is more a longer term view. I think we are going to see exiles, and they will help protect those that have been left behind over time by exposing this issue. these are two very positive cards in a truly awful scenario. So it's like the sacrifice for the progress down the track.
I think they'll sacrifice some people that aren't gay just by the way it's structured, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. There may be change coming ultimately from that, but it's going to be a disaster for the population because there's people that are going to be reported as gay that aren't, and they're going to execute them or whatever. Ultimately, I get the gay population will turn their back on the country and leave. But there's going to be other people that are sacrificed, and that's going to be a mess.
I got the sacrifice thing too.
I get that there is a commitment by a very conservative group here domestically that may have had something to do with it. Because there's the ring, a house here, domestic, conservative, some sort of ethical purist thing. How will it affect them? I just get that there will need to be more. They'll just keep quiet about it, but it tends to get eaten away. You see what I'm saying? And there's a relationship or a commitment here by conservatives that starts to get eaten away. But families are going to have to keep it shut, But for some reason, it's almost like something, because this reads like almost something here domestic that had some sort of influence or guidance or mentoring in regards to that law. So, or getting it written down here, some sort of a project. So I don't know what that means. I could be wrong, but
the law, it seems to me, doesn't seem as stable as maybe I would think it would be. It's going to fluctuate, but this is over time though. Because there's some sort of financial thing that happens here too, to where this announcement has a ripple effect. Now, I don't think this is going to affect those in power. This is more of a trickle-down effect, to where these are the people up here who screw up the life for everybody else down here. Then there is the incarceration, and then what's going to happen is, because this is my bigotry card too, it's in the word of warning, so it's here to stay. Bigotry is bigotry whether they have a law or not. But there may be some sort of safe haven type of thing, like the YMCA used to be back in the day. Whether Donald Trump knew that or not is a whole nother thing. But there is some sort of safe haven or some sort of agreement that these in particular communities over here are more safe than over there type of thing. But it's going to persist. It's going to have the effect you think it would have. So that type of thing.
But that's the way it always works, Johnny. The people in power never, ever have any consequence into what they instill into law, because they can do whatever they want. Who's going to be there to stop them?
Well, speaking of which, there is the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. His name is Mark Robinson. I've done a reading on him before. He said God has formed him to fight the LGBT issues. Not fight, because he is very, very anti-LGBT. He is not formally. He is currently the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, running for Governor of North Carolina. So I want to know what his chances might be for actually getting the gig as Governor of North Carolina. That's his main bone of contention.
What's his name again?
Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson. I want to see his high school photos.
He was in a church making a political statement to a political speech, because he's like the Southern Baptist type thing. And anyway, I was going to go into a whole nother thing. But he said God formed him to fight the LGBT issue.
North Carolina.
Which, I mean, just, okay, listen. If you wake up in the morning and that's the first thing on your mind, and you go to sleep and that's the last thing on your mind, something is going on.
Something. See, this is why I get frustrated that Pete Buttigieg is, stuck in transport, because he is really good at going Bible verse to Bible verse about this issue. And given that it's such a hot issue now, he should really be the ambassador for LGBTQI rights in America. That's what I would like to see, because he can cut through to these people.
Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of Fox News, so it's like that's.
Did you hear
Go ahead.
Did you hear the petty stuff that happened in Utah? Because Utah is on the book banning circuit that was inspired by Ron DeSantis. So they're on a book banning fiasco in Utah, where any parent can write to the school and tell them ban this book. So a pissed off parent wrote to the school and said, "Oh, while we're banning books, let's ban the Bible. Here's 47 pages of everything according to your new law that goes against what is appropriate to read."
Yeah, adultery, pornography, this, that,
bestiality.
It's all there.
There's a hospital in Idaho that's not going to deliver babies anymore because there's too much at risk with the abortion laws.
That's on our list tonight too.
I'm doing a cesarean or something. It's like, oh no, let's just not deliver babies.
That parent submitted 40-something pages of instances in the Bible that goes against every single thing that they wrote in that law. And now they're like, oh, well, this is very unfortunate that people are making it this petty. You wrote the law.
Yeah.
You created this list. Okay,
you quote this book every day of the week. And there's a guy in Texas or Florida or somewhere who's doing the same thing with council meetings that they open with a prayer. And he waits for his turn. He waits for months till it's his turn and he reads these bloodthirsty reads from the Bible, and they all go, "Oh no!"
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because of course, and you'd know this probably, Johnny, too. In backwater states that are Bible dependent, Bible is oxygen. So people only read the selected bits that have been pulled out for them since childhood. They're not actually looking at the whole story.
Because what we do especially in Southern Baptist churches, is we take a verse and then we give a message. We don't take a book of the Bible and read it through and explain and discuss. You take a verse and then you make a message. So you speak for 10 hours on 15 words. So
yeah. And that's a gift. In terms of everything, but it's not good for the congregation's well-being.
They just like to manipulate.
Yes, Mark Robinson is black.
I get he'll lose because he's going to receive judgment from the mothers, from the nurturing people and stuff. His votes will be too small. But I do get that they should investigate some of the votes because there's something funky going on with some of them. Like whoever runs against him better call for a recount or something.
And I think, Johnny, back to your initial point, those who protest the loudest, I think there could be a little scandal in the wings for this man. It's sort of absolutely classic, isn't it? And I think there are people looking at this on a broader scale, and he might even be asked to stand down or take a lesser position, or at minimum shut up. Is here. It's just too murky. Yeah, the stinky fish, as Hogarth would say. Someone's got a story.
That's what I'm saying, Miss Lena, Dr. Lena. Nope. Homeboy's got something in the closet, and there's going to be a resurrection of an affair. there's the closet, something ending,
I'm loving it.
and then the affair. So I would not be surprised if somebody goes looking through his old dirty laundry in his closet and finds a string of affairs with men and little boys too. While we're at it.
Yeah, this was young. My vibe here was young, whether he was young when it happened or young, like a touch too young, not under 10, but 16-ish.
It's Eddie Long all over again. He's a preacher, pastor. He died, but they say don't speak ill of the dead, but I'm gonna do it here. He marched every year. They'd have the gay pride parade in Georgia, and then he'd march against, and then he'd march against, and he'd rail against, and he was talking about against. And then all of the photos came out of him doing this in his bathroom, sending those pictures to 18-year-old boys that he was making. It's like
it's always the way.
And that's what ticks me off, Lena. It's like, why are you punching down on people when you're doing the same thing? You're doing the same thing.
Just don't talk about it. You might hide. Everyone's entitled to a private life to some extent. Just don't come out and, like you say, punch down about it.
And nobody cares. The only people who care are the crazy evangelicals who haven't read the Bible in 40 years. The rest of us don't care. We don't care.
Because gay people don't wake up thinking gay thoughts and gay dentist appointments, and they don't go to the gay grocery store. They don't drive to the gay doctors, and it's like they don't have a gay life. They have a regular person's life. So why is it always on your mind and not theirs? It's like I don't wake up thinking black thoughts and then go to sleep thinking black thoughts. It's just, it's a by the way type of thing. Not black is not my whole life.
For people that are supposed to be so pure, they frequently have sex on the brain. It's like you're either not doing it right or you're not doing it enough when you're worried about everybody else.
The only thing they think about when they hear the word gay is sex. They don't think about nothing else. It's like, what is the fixation? I just think
gay people and drag queens are not killing your children. AR-15s are.
And do you remember those pictures of Josh Hawley that came out too after he was railing in the lingerie? It's always
the Republican dude liking all the Instagram thing with the twink on the Instagram. It's like it's always you people that bark the loudest.
Look, you heard it here first. I'm going to say rent boys are going to bring down the Republican Party.
Well, we're going there next, actually. So let me go back to this. Mark Robinson, the hermit in the Knight of Swords. There's some isolation and some chaos. As far as you getting the governorship, defeat in the King of Swords. I don't think it's going to happen. It would take a miracle. And mind you, God is not on your side in this in particular issue. So I don't see it for you. But that's me.
Hearing voices who are claiming to be God, maybe it's time to seek psychological help, because I don't think it's God, telling you to hate other people.
Cocaine talks too, I think. So, so Becca sent me, I have a question for Sunday, please. I said, okay. The question is, the gay dating app Grindr says if Florida doesn't stop passing homophobic and transphobic laws, they will reveal every Republican legislator and party official who secretly uses their app. Will they release these names?
I'm like, do it.
Oh, I'm loving it. And the tragedy is I have to go after this question because I came on an hour early, as Johnny knows, so I'm all out of sync, but I'm so glad I was here for this one.
I was like, do it, please, if there is a
Look, 20 years ago or so, there was one of the codes of football we play in Australia is rugby league, which is gridiron without the padding. I will point that out, right? Okay. And one of the biggest guys, literally, because they have big forwards in the middle, who knock over the opposition, right? And one of the main forwards in the game came out as gay. And to his credit, and he said, I'm coming out now, someone has to, but I'm not going to out all the others. with an S on the end. And good on you. And this is that sort of vibe. Oh, that is hilarious.
I wonder too how many more apps might follow suit.
Somebody's got to do something, because this is just,
yeah. And even if it's just a threat, it's a really good one.
yeah, because I mean, they've gone beyond otherizing the LGBTQ transgender community. They've gone beyond that, you know. So
I don't even get that they're going to have a legal problem from it either. Some of them have been using it a long time, a long time. And I get they are going to create anxiety and burden the crap out of them. I do get that they will present names and move forward with that. There's a yes card, and you know, maybe even like some of them that are spending time together on Grindr. So if there's like several Republicans that are hooking up on Grindr, they'll let us know who they're hooking up with. There's an abundance of them that are romancing partners on Grindr, and there's another big yes card. Y'all are doomed.
Wow. I'm loving this. And most of them too would be married because they all live double lives.
Unfortunately.
Which is
You know
why
what you
when
get.
I worked at the equivalent of Planned Parenthood, which also treated sexually transmitted diseases, who was turning up like over and over again? The wives of men.
Yeah.
Who hadn't been out and about and couldn't work out why they now had chlamydia and everything else, right? You know.
What you get, Lena?
Yeah, well, the hermit days are over. They're serious about this. I think they're on the attack. They're looking into the practicalities. The Queen of Pentacles is very practical. How far can we go legally? Can we name names, or do we say, you know, John of Cleveland, who's X, Y, and Z? You know, I think they're looking in the behind the scenes. How far can they go? But they're going to be victorious as a campaign and as a threat. Very interesting. And what are these guys going to do?
Panic.
Oh, I love it.
File lawsuits, try to ban them, what they always do.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
I get that there will be news or a delivery from somewhere domestic and local. This is also a man. This is the King of Hearts. Okay, so we could be looking at men here that are in the closet on social media. So, yeah, have fun getting your names thrown around after you're openly hostile to the community that you're also privately participating in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get. I get a big old yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't get yes or no. It went in a whole different direction. But someone's panicking because someone is trying to bind or restrict with legal threats here with the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So that's the majority of this read is like they're panicking now because you get the Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups and their indulgences, which they are trying to keep hidden or outside, out in the cold, if you will. And the Six of Cups, though, they have a very long history and I think a very long list too. And these would be people that we know possibly, so because they're familiar names. So guess we'll see.
I had to ask the Madhouse
I'm so
Tarot
sorry,
too.
I have to go. Sorry, Jen, what were you saying?
I had to ask the Madhouse Tarot also. It's like, let me gather up all the little dolls you've been playing with here and trying to act all high and mighty. And the Tower card, yes, ma'am. They're gonna shine a light and look. This Judgment card, they're like ghosts, like they're ghosting
I'm loving
each
it.
other.
So when did this come out? I haven't heard this story.
I saw
2
it
days ago, I think.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter this last week.
Brilliant. Oh, that's left me on a high.
wasn't,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Bye.
Too cool.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
So the next question is, there are 2 hospitals in Idaho who are closing down because doctors no longer are delivering babies. And it's due to, of course, the anti-abortion law. So this is done out of protest. So
out of protest, well, I wouldn't really say out of protest. The way that it's being reported, it sounds almost like the doctors are terrified of ending up in prison for having to do something to save the life of the mother. So like, peace out, we're leaving, we can't do this.
We're just not going to deliver babies anymore. You just squat at the curb and drop it.
Yeah.
So will this have a
go to the animal shelter? They might be able to help you there,
a ripple effect? Will this have an effect on the current abortion laws? Or are Republicans going to, I guess, take their stance and say, this is what we want, this is it?
I wish more doctors would do that. Let's take a stand and band together. Here's a big yes. They're not satisfied with how things are going. It's starting with a big old yes and justice. There's going to be, look at the major arcana. This is all major arcana. Every single thing. We're going to see more and more and more new actions taken. Everything's a major arcana except for the Ace of Wands. That's a big yes.
These people, I'm telling you, it's like their laws are so regressive, they're only hurting their citizenry.
Yeah, they're going to bring change by any way, that they can band together. They're going to bring change. Wow.
Unbelievable. I get the message or the results, something that is written. There is a commitment here that is local. They're not moving. They might seek some guidance on a way around it, but they're firm. They're stuck. So have fun having things get worse before. What are you going to do? Have women go into the ASPCA or to the veterans office to deliver a baby because the hospitals, doctors are fleeing because nobody wants to go to jail for your draconian laws? So I get that they're committed and they're not going to move on this. They're not going to budge. They've dug in their heels, and that's the way it's going to be. So
good for them.
No, for the lawmakers, like the law's not going to change.
The lawmakers. Oh.
Yeah. I get that it's not going to change, that it's stuck. It's going to take families. With the House here, it's going to take families seeking new direction. But I don't see the law in this reading at all.
Yeah, you vote them out.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Ace of Swords and the Hermit. So there's a victory, but it is isolated. So it could change some rules. I wouldn't say necessarily an overall law. Some procedures may have some caveats or some asterisks. So there might be an amendment or two. The Knight of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Two of Swords. So there's some talking and decision making that needs to happen. It ends in the Justice card and the Ten of Swords. So the law itself is not going to stay as it is, but it is going to stay. So you're still going to have an overall arching thing, but you may have an amendment somewhere in there that rules for some sort of exception.
These are people writing laws that couldn't tell you the first thing about women reproductive health at all. They're not even
about their own reproductive health.
Yeah. And it's another thing. It's like all these red states are now causing the blue states to get burdened with all the problems they're creating just around female reproduction and health. That's it, And like I was joking around with you guys the other day, that they're going to come for your sanitary napkins next. We just tried to pull that crap in that school. I sent you guys the video. I forget what state it was where they were trying to ban, in Idaho as well.
That's what you said.
Trying to ban free sanitary products for girls in school. Oh,
and you can't talk to them about their periods if they're under 12 years old.
That's in Florida. In Florida, you can't talk to your friends about it. You can't talk to the nurse about it. You can't talk to the teachers about it. You can't talk to anybody about a normal biological function.
Yeah. If they get their period at 11, you can't, or 10, you can't talk to them about it.
In Idaho, they're trying to ban the schools from carrying sanitary napkins for girls. And it's like, go, because their argument is the state shouldn't fund this. Well, then why is the state funding toilet paper? It's the same thing. You're wasting more money on toilet paper that everybody uses versus sanitary products for girls. You know?
There's some states, like down in Tennessee when I was living there, the school supply list included toilet paper, hand soap, everything for the bathrooms, because the teachers and the schools weren't getting the funding for it.
Yeah.
So when you had your school supply shopping list, they asked for people to donate toilet paper and stuff. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
So, shifting gears again, Brazil has made a deal with the chameleon himself, George Santos.
George, Anthony, DeVolder, Santos, Letitia, Shanae, Monique, George, Stanza, Mendoza, Paulina.
DeVolder.
Whatever his name is, they have made a deal because he is wanted there for fraud. And they are apparently cutting a deal that if he pays restitution, then I guess he can be set free. He said in his defense that he is now, what was the word before it? It was like he's gainfully employed, but he's like domestically adjusted or something weird like that. But he's gainfully employed now, so he has a job, so no more frauding for him. And they made a deal. So what I want to know is,
like, it's okay to defraud as long as you're not gainfully employed.
Because to me, if you are making a deal, then that means you are admitting some sort of guilt, because he's paying restitution. It's not like he's just saying, okay, leave me alone, I'm not coming back. He is paying for his crime, apparently. And so will he, will that I'm going to say admission of guilt play into the cases that he has here? Because there may be some sort of correlation between you committing crimes in these different countries and the people that you may know from one country to another, like the guy who was doing the card skipping thing with you, or skimming. So will that have any effect on his current cases? Investigations, not cases. And then I have another question there too.
All these sword cards.
Will it affect any of the cases here? Yes, but I wouldn't anticipate anything anytime soon. The law is investigating him, but it's going to take a while. So not next week, not next month. This is a don't hold your breath. It's coming, but not anytime soon. So who knows? He might be up for re-election before we hear anything again, So yes. Also, there's also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The law is also investigating something with the lilies here because it has to do with purity. I would also venture out to say something ethical with him within the law. within a branch of government. So I don't know if that would mean like some sort of ethics committee. I only pulled 3 cards, but they're investigations into his purity or his ethics. So there's that.
It's going to definitely bring more attention to him for his 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords, his strategy, his bullying, his way that he's operated, 9 of Coins, for his lifestyle. Tower card here, it will bring more down on him. I just get like 10 of Coins, 10 of Swords, all the 10s, 10 of Wands, everything. He's about to get the crap burdened out of him. He'll end up at like Trump in a little cell with 4 walls, trying to process who his identity is. And he's going to get a lot of attention on this. He's been sharing stuff with people that he shouldn't have, and look at the 6 of Coins. It's got a little devil on the guy's back. Everything's corrupt with this guy. Everything.
Will it have an effect now? Yes, but it's one of those. Is to Tower. It comes crumbling down all at once, but it's not crumbling down right now. Because there's something within the Tower that is going to expose something else. But the 2 of Wands is plans. 2 of Wands is also nothing in action right now. And so this is still behind the wall. There's manipulation. And so it's not really one of those things to where it's evidence you would take to court. It's more of a pattern of behavior that you look at, that you can establish a person's character with. And so that's kind of the vibe I'm getting there. So it's not really something you would take and say, here's what he did in Brazil, so that means this is what he's doing here. It's more of this is his MO, just like he did in Brazil, if you get what I'm saying. So what I want to know is, since no one is in a hurry to send him back to Brazil, why did he settle this case in the first place? Because who's coming to get you? Nobody, apparently. Why do anything?
Family or something, or worried about getting extradited. I think that's what it was. They were worried that the courts would take an action, that he'd have to move. He'd have to go there. And he knew he'd already lost the case. There's witnesses and everything else. So he's worried that they'd extradite him.
Do it anyway.
I'm sure there's another country he's committed fraud in. We can find somewhere to extradite him to.
So why did he settle this case with Brazil? I get the ring, the scythe, the fish, the woman, and the moon. Some sort of he agreed to make that decision because of a very independent woman who's famous. So I'm not saying him and MTG are buddies, but this is independence, and then woman, and then fame here. And then there's your broken promise. So I don't know if MTG may have told him this is the best option, because there's a broken promise here and a decision to sever something so that this woman here can have more. Do you see what I'm saying? The majority. So, but this is not his sister, because it's an independent woman that's very famous. She's got a spotlight on her. somehow.
That's known.
Do you see what I'm saying? And she's also career. So I'm thinking perhaps Marjorie Taylor Greene may have said like, hey, this is the best option, because it's almost like all she cares about is having the majority, even if it's very, very slim. Because if you look at the site, it's number 10.
The woman doesn't even understand the Constitution. Don't be taking legal advice from an MTG.
Yeah. So that's what I get. He made that decision to break off that promise because of an independent woman that's got the spotlight on her right now, who's very famous. And she's a bit dangerous too with Siphon Woman.
She seems to be his only friend in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a mouthful there too. That's your friend? No, thank you. 10 of Swords, there's loss and ruin. So maybe there is an attempt to mitigate damages, especially for the future, because you have your 4 of Wands and your 7 of Wands. So you are trying to defend your security, defend your establishment, defend your position. So there's something there that I think could spell something bigger. Maybe there's a bit of coercion too, to where, hey, if you don't settle this up, this gets worse, or I'll spill this, or something like that. Because there's the the Chariot and the 6 of Pentacles. This is your payout, but this is your opposites coming together with the Chariot. You have to pull things together to achieve victory. And so you're trying to bring somebody in and say, hey, it's not that bad. Here, I'll give you a coupon for a pack of gum and 28 cents, and let's call it a day type of thing. Okay. Ireland, Croatia, Austria, and Germany have now joined the list of countries that says they will arrest Vladimir Putin should he step foot on their soil. Now, I am asking, will he get arrested? Because, of course, he won't. But are more countries going to join the coalition of Ireland, Croatia, Austria, and Germany, saying that we will arrest you if you step foot?
Because there's a warrant for you now.
Marjorie Taylor Greene go over there, and this is unheard of. Kind of like
Putin will be in jail. She'll go visit him.
yeah,
Look how he's being treated.
Just like she did to the January 6th protesters.
Yeah. Look how they're being treated. Meanwhile, they've got like more access to their phones and the internet than any other people in jail.
It's jail.
I'm telling you, I have a rock in this room that's smarter than that girl. I'm just saying. So
at least the rock knows how to be a rock. She doesn't know how to be a person.
I think you can safely say any rock in any room or anywhere in the world is smarter than that woman.
This one too, and it's encased in plastic, so it's
a baby's dirty diaper is smarter than that one.
It's special. Bobert is smarter than that woman. That tells you something right there.
And Bobert's pretty dumb herself, Johnny. That's setting the bar so low.
I mean, she's about 2 crayons short of a glue box. That one, I tell you.
I'm not getting an answer on that question other than the world will partner together. But I'm just going to say, Putin, you better not go anywhere, because I think you'd become a target for being taken out before you even made it to The Hague.
Will other countries join? I get a big ol' yes. There's the man, there's the key, there is the clover. Yes. However, with that said, this man, Putin, might be venturing to do something that is significantly risky. And what I'm not talking travel, I'm talking something else. It's very quick, but super risky. So they might be like, other countries are like, yeah, we're going to put him on our arrest list. And he might come back with, oh yeah, I put nuclear weapons in your front door, or something like that, So yes, but he'll take a significant risk.
I don't get an answer to that either. I get 6 of Cups, someone you've known a very long time. The Knight of Pentacles, they possibly work for you or have worked for you for a very long time. So maybe not necessarily the closest of friends, but someone that has worked for you for a long time. I'm going to say close friends because the Three of Swords is betrayal. Betrayal does not come from thy enemy. So watch thy back is all I'm saying.
And don't get near the windows.
No. So will other countries join? I'm pretty sure they will. But yeah, just make sure you know what, I'm not giving you no advice at all. Do what you want to do.
You can stand by that open window there.
Because I know y'all watch it, because you watch everything.
Especially between the hours of 1 and 2. Just kidding, YouTube, for entertainment purposes only.
You don't have to stick to the windows. You know, there's stairs. There's all sorts of ways to get creative. Cars.
Yeah. Look at Ivana on the stairs.
I've read a lot of books. I think I have a list of ways to creatively unalive somebody.
So $100 billion in deposits or withdrawals have been made from banks over the course of, has it been a month or so since the SVB bank crashed in Silicon Valley. So people are withdrawing at a very alarming rate. It has slowed down, but what I want to know is, will this panic continue, and what effect will it have on the banking system? Because what's happening also is some of the smaller banks are being absorbed by the larger banks, which then the FDIC or some, but one of the people are saying it's not a very good thing for this to have happen. And so because these little smaller banks getting absorbed by the bigger ones, maybe they take on too much, and then so forth, so forth. So what effect will it have, and will the panic sort of slow down some here?
So what effect will it have, like on smaller banks?
On the banking system, because the smaller banks are being absorbed by the larger ones because they are running out of cash too. And so this is becoming a banking crisis a little bit. Because JP Morgan Chase just bought I forget the name of it. They just bought another little bank, basically.
Well, first of all, I get the banking system is secure right off the bat. But I do get there'll be some backdoor deals that are struck up. Until there's some laws made to change this and put something new out there legally to guidelines is what I'm hearing. There's going to be a lot of like little banks that are going to go under or get bought out. Banking itself is secure. The big banks can afford it. They got the money. They're fine. But there needs to be regulations put on them too. Who was it? Lawrence Tribes that said this week, banking needs to be boring.
Mm-hmm.
So we need those regulations.
Will it continue? No, I gotta know. What effect will it have? Decisions need to be made, and to commit for some sort of legislation or something written, because something was taken away out of this, and hearings and negotiations. So it was like the law here was written to where something that was promised with the losses would be lost here. This is too loose. Do you see what I'm saying? It's been eaten away at. So it's just to decide to commit to something solid and have it put on paper.
They're too worried about Alvin Bragg to have committee meetings on banking laws.
What's the saying? socialized losses but privatized profits. Isn't that? Yeah. Yeah. Time to cut that crap out, you know?
I get there will be, I don't get banking system is fine. What I was highlighted here was highlighted for me here in the read is not so much banking system, it's the people at the top or people in power, positions of leadership. They're the ones doing the deals and the sneakies and the thises and the that's. And then that's what causes that bank to fail. Banking systems itself don't all crumble down. It's always Wells Fargo had 99 million different false accounts, and it's always somebody up here doing something stupid, and then Elizabeth Warren yells at them for 2 hours, and then that type of thing. But it's some sort of laws here that may be brought to the forefront, but that's in time.
And the thing I really understand is, the money is federally backed up to $250,000. How many of us have $250,000 just sitting in the bank?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, but do I see like a global economic collapse of the banking system? No.
Banking system secure.
Okay. Donald Trump said he was going to be arrested last Tuesday. He was not arrested last Tuesday because the grand jury did not meet on Monday. We meet Monday, Thursdays, and something like that, or Monday, Wednesday, something. I don't know.
And I drank the whole bottle. Do I regret it? No. I still have it.
We're still celebrating.
And I got 4 more in the fridge just waiting for the day. He is.
But he called for protests, and like 9 people came.
9 people showed up, and the
Like
rest
it was like the smallest crowd of people. It's almost like there was something on a building and just people just walked up to look at it. They weren't necessarily together. They just happened upon each other.
There was one guy that was all by himself in New York that Jordan Klepper found, and he said, I got this. I got this. He got
this. Hold it down for him.
I got it. Nobody else has to show up. I got it.
Did you see the people that were actually protesting for his arrest?
They were in more of high spirits in larger numbers than the people who came out to protest his.
And if you did not see Michael Rappaport's rant on I will be dancing in the streets, New Yorkers will be dancing in the streets, arrest him. He was hysterical for 15 minutes ranting.
What I want to know is what happened? Where was everybody? Why didn't they show up? They showed up for January 6th, and maybe that's why they didn't show up here. But what happened is the first question.
The ones that organized January 6th are all in jail now. So
you're running out of people, are we?
We're on second stream.
Oh, what happens?
I'm going off to Waco, Texas for his rally. Idiot. Just keep sending those messages. They don't want to go to jail for you, Trump. They do not want out in the cold from legal protection from the celebrity. They know they'd get burdened and they'd be the ones taken away. They don't want to go to jail for him. They're still emotional. The big lies starting to make them a little bit nervous, but they're still in service to him, but they don't want to go to jail for him. They're looking for other options.
So that's the first part of the read is the fox, the whip, and the mice.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious and chronically stressed and worried. As the thing, this would be a trap. So they're very suspicious that there's some sort of trap, and they are paranoid with a P. And it's not worth a small risk. This is a risk. This is small to remain innocent. but it's mostly because of this. They're suspicious of a trap and paranoid. So
the Two of Cups and the Lovers, these are people who are in agreement, like-minded people as well. These are two different groups sort of coming together. The Ace of Swords is your clarity in this situation. Why? Because this is what they want. They think, though, that they will be pressured by the unknown. If we knew what we were getting into, we would go. But I cannot go down there and then get arrested. Now, here's the thing. You can protest all you want. Just don't be stupid and dangerous. That's all everybody else is saying. Go down there with your Trump sign and whatever. We see you in our neighborhoods, so we know who you are. That's not the crime. The crime is breaking into buildings and doing stupid and killing people and doing stupid stuff like that. That part is the crime. But so they're pressured by the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. I need to look into this a little further, or maybe just don't at all, because he didn't protest y'all getting arrested. So
what's funny too, I saw on the on Twitter and I think on little clips here and there on MSNBC that they were saying that they were not showing up because they were paranoid that this was a trap by law enforcement to arrest them. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be a trap. You're perfectly within your constitutional rights to protest peacefully. What you're not allowed to do is to go over there and beat the crap out of cops and unalive people and break into federal buildings and all this other stuff. So they kind of got scared off because they QAnon quacked themselves in the head. Like now they're all paranoid and scared of their own shadows.
I got a QAnon question because there's a bunch of them that think Trump is still the sitting president.
Oh my God.
You know, there's still those people that think he's running things behind the scenes and Biden's not. So, but they also think you can't indict a sitting president. So when Trump is indicted, what's going to happen to their little brains? Like, because they think he's still the president.
So what's the question? What will the Quackanons think when Trump is arrested?
Yeah, the ones that believe he's the president still, what will they think when he's indicted? Mental health care is so needed in this country.
You can help a whole lot of people by just getting rid of Fox News
and MTG
and the Alex
Did you
Jones.
see the person blowing the whistle all through her press conference though? That was
and then
great.
she went on a tirade on Twitter that she was attacked.
Yeah.
She was attacked. She was attacked by a whistle. You know.
Thank you, Desiree.
And I muted her on Twitter because the way that Twitter is now, it's like people that you don't even follow just pop up on your feed.
On your thing.
So I just muted her, and I was like, wouldn't life be great if we can just mute Marjorie Taylor Greene as easily as we can on freaking Twitter? You just hit the button and she shuts up. Too much to ask.
Folded into a different dimension. You're just not even here for me anymore.
Is it too much to ask, Elon Musk? Yeah, she was being attacked. Coming from the woman that chased down a minor down the street after he survived a mass shooting at school. Yeah.
I get they won't believe it. They'll block it. The information when he's indicted, they won't believe it. They won't accept it. They think he's still doing the work as president. They also think he's secure somewhere, like in the White House. You know, that's where he's communicating from, somewhere, a secure location.
Yeah, and on the toilet eating classified documents.
Yeah, in his bunker in the toilet.
I get that there's deeply rooted health issues here that whatever is reported, they'll think it's a lie because they're so engraved in the propaganda. It's like they're programmed. So
yeah. They're brainwashed.
They'll spin it some different way. It's like, good luck, you know?
I get to blame Biden. I get the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Wands. They will blame him because it's his agenda.
But then won't they have to admit that by blaming Biden, that would make Biden the president?
Because you can blame that he stole it from Trump.
But according
They do
to
that now, Becca. They talk out of both sides of a story, you know, like, yeah, Biden's in the White House, but Trump's president, you know.
You have to like do mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
It's like they blame China for COVID while saying COVID doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
And here's the vaccine, but let me drink bleach for a virus that doesn't exist. Okay. Okay.
They make a lavender flavor too. I don't know how good that tastes, but if one of you GOPs want to try it and get back to us, you go right ahead. I don't work at the poison hotline though, so just to let you know. And that's not for entertainment purposes. So, okay. Trump has not been so far, this is our last question, has so far not been indicted because now they're threatening and doing all this other stuff like we know they would. But what I want to know is in the moments leading up to his possible, we'll call it that, indictment, will he tweet or not tweet? Will he post any other message that I guess sends his lawyers into a tailspin and catches their hair on fire? What else is coming out of Donald Trump that is going to make the news?
It might make his case a little bit harder.
Will he go into a frenzy? Because mind you, this is all anticipation. So he hasn't been charged yet, or not charged, but he hasn't been indicted yet. So
I got one more question too, Johnny. If we can go a little overtime.
Yeah, and I have a question too, Johnny. If we can go a little overtime, please.
okay.
So what was the question? Is anything else coming out of his mouth before he gets arrested, or when he's getting arrested?
Since he's in fear mode. Which causes a person not to think rationally, not that he was started out that way in the first place. So
he's gonna go after rhinos, Republicans in name only. You know, the ones that are not trying to stop this thing with Bragg and everything. The ones that aren't speaking up on his behalf, he's gonna attack them. You know, social media, it's not good. Whatever, he may sick people on them, like he's doing with Alvin Bragg, but it's whatever it is, it's a security concern.
Did you hear Alan Dershowitz, his latest defense of Donald Trump? Indicting Donald Trump is against the Bible. Coming from Alan, the guy who dropped his pants for minors on Epstein Island and said, I kept my underwear on. That guy is trying to argue that indicting Donald Trump is against the Bible. Will he say anything else? Yes. Get rid of the Constitution. It's a burden on our elections. And it's a burden on our choices. Here's a letter, a message that is historical in nature, that adds ethics. Take it away. Eat away at it. Take away from the Constitution. There's pain and suffering here on several fronts. So will he say anything else? Yeah, get rid of parts of the Constitution. So
I get he is asking someone, anyone, everyone to protect me. There's a Two of Cups in the Nine of Pentacles. Protect me, please. Burdened by the law and the witch hunt and all. There's going to be a plea for protection. And I personally, the Sultan of Sarcasm, will find it very funny. And so it's going to be in that vein. So it's yeah. Jen, what was your question?
What did Trump think when only 8 people showed up to protest in New York? When he had no supporters turning out in mass thousands in New York City, like he wanted to just tear down the streets of New York.
So what did he think to only
What did
have
he think when 8 people showed up with their little homemade signs?
Guess they ran out of poster board and Crayola, huh? Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot to ask from people that don't know how to read and write, but okay.
He's out of money to pay for people to show up, actors.
What a maroon.
The traffic was bad. Traffic was really, really bad. And nobody wanted to show up to hear about a woman who has a lot of sex and is a big problem and is an enemy. But mostly the traffic was bad.
Yeah, I get Republicans didn't pay for their travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, Republicans paid for their travel for January 6th for some of them. So that nobody was paying. So they're kind of out in the cold. It's like, where are my minions? Where are my minions? They don't have the money to get there.
At the 9 of Swords, the Death, and the High Priestess, he's worried someone is stifling the message or hiding his words or something of that nature. You didn't see it. You probably just didn't see it. I didn't get the invitation.
Somebody,
or maybe the crowd size was like his inauguration. Maybe there was hundreds of thousands of people and we just didn't see it.
Or the new aides that he has that follow him around the golf course to read him all the good stuff they're saying about him on social media. Maybe those people were blocking him from seeing that nobody showed up, so his feelings
or they're showing them the anti-Trump people and saying, here's your supporters.
So now, Becky, what was your question?
So it's being reported that Melania is very pissed off that everybody is talking about Donald Trump having sex with that whore, Stormy Daniels. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to hear it. It is too much for me. So why is Melania Trump pissed off and doesn't want to hear about Stormy Daniels? Girl, you knew what you were marrying. Mind you, you were mistress number 3, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and who cares if he shared his little bitty mushroom?
That's
one night you didn't have to sleep with him.
Yes, in the words of Rosie O'Donnell, he married the first wife and divorced her, married the second wife, divorced her, had an affair both times, had children both times,
and she, slept with him before she married him, so she knew what she was marrying. She knew what she was getting in the bargain. I'll put it that way.
She was mistress to wife number 2.
yeah.
So, like I said, that girl went digging for gold and she hit the sewer line. I'm telling you.
Oh Lord.
Why does she not want to hear about Stormy Daniels?
Lord Jesus.
Get petty.
There's an image in my head. It's like she's sitting in this office, and then there's a person sitting right next to her doing this, showing her the one thing she doesn't want to see the entire time. It's like everywhere she turns, it just hey Melania, look at this. You don't like that? Don't you like this? Look at the colors. Hey Melania, look at that. Hey, look. It's like I mean, that's the world you got into,
She knew.
I guess she's more concerned about Barron, her child, because it's burdening the home life here, and she's more concerned, I think, about Barron because she could care less who he sleeps with. She could care less. He's a lover boy. He can go around and sleep with whoever he wants to, because she's out there doing whoever she wants. She's more concerned about Baron.
I get that she's pissed off about the money, the finances, but what pisses her off, and who he got into bed with, but what pisses her off is that this is public and everybody knows about it for another person that she considers is trash on the bottom of her shoe.
Yeah.
I don't get a family member at all. I just get her.
Donald, you give me $150,000 every time you slept with me, I'd have more money than I have right now.
You know, I get that she's pissed off about the money, the 130 grand or 150 grand. She's mad about that, but she's mad that everybody knows that he went and slept with trash. Not that I think Stormy Daniels is trash, but coming from Melania's point of view, someone that's trash, that's beneath her. You know, and everybody knows about it.
Why he posed nude all over the place. She's so.
Hey, she was nude too. Melania was nude too. So what's the difference?
No, I'm saying Melania for somebody that posed nude everywhere.
You know, but I guess
trash to no trash.
I guess there's a difference between a sex worker and, you know.
That's what she was. I mean, she didn't come out of, you know.
She was paid to pose nude.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Where he meet her again?
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Epstein.
Mm-hmm. The Four Swords, Sleeping King of Wands, the Moon and the Devil. She's embarrassed because everybody is constantly looking at it. It's the thing. It's the country club. It's, oh, look, there's Melania. Oh, you know, her husband sleeps with, oh my God, that thing. So you can be as prestigious as you want to be, but your husband can embarrass you and ruin your reputation and your name in 10 seconds. And that's according to Stormy Daniels.
We now know that she did marry him for money because he's got a little mushroom. It wasn't for the sex.
No.
She's embarrassed. What again?
The whole world hates her husband. There's only two people, maybe three. Putin, Z in China, and what's his face in Saudi Arabia. Those are the only people that can stand him. Everybody else on the planet hates you and your husband.
And none of them had to sleep with him, but you chose to. So who's the stupid one? They got everything in the world out of him and still didn't have to sleep with him. So congratulations, you played yourself, as they say. Yep. So that's all we got for today.
All we got. That was a lot of fun tonight.
She's a stupid lady, I tell you.
We'll be anyway on the channel next week.
And here's the thing too. If you're going to go steal Michelle Obama's speeches, go steal her Taste in Men too. How about that?
Yeah. You go steal her whole entire character and her demeanor, and not be a hussy yourself, and not be a piece of trash yourself wearing a "I don't care, do you?"
Yes.
You're going to see
Melania or Michelle could wear a dress from Target and look classier than Melania in that designer jacket. I don't really care to you. That was thousands of dollars.
It wasn't thousands of dollars. It wasn't. It was off of. It wasn't H&M. It was a store that was kind of like H&M. It was like a $20-$30 jacket.
Oh, she was trying to pull a.
It was a $20 or $30 jacket that was on a website that's kind of similar to H&M. But the only was because she was wearing it, and then everybody started boycotting that shirt because it was appropriated to Nazi stuff.
It was from Forever 21.
Yeah. Forever 21, was it? Forever 21 or H&M, something like that. One of those stores that caters to the younger people.
Where she's trying to live her fantasy of forever being 21.
Her new body parts might be, but she's not. Anyhow, we will leave you on that note, and then next week we'll be on Jen's channel for
Jen's birthday party next week.
So thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.